Hello, I am Brandon, the humble host of Actual Play Broadcast. This will serve as an introduction to our broadcast for the time being. As we record and publish more, it shall change. We are still getting things set up, so apologies for any errors, skips, or silence that may occur. Everything will be smoothed out in due time. Please enjoy our broadcasts of various RPGs, and remember to tune in for more every week, as continuations or new adventures will be posted at such times. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
And we're recording.
And I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
Yeah, no, seriously.
You
The only
signed a
skill I don't
contract.
have is fly. Oh, fuck. There was a contract involved?
You all signed it.
Somewhere.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Aldfair here at APB.
Yes.
DM'd by Zemian.
We're working definitely not hard for Ascension, so you don't have to. Plus 1 point. Everybody gets that.
Where can they spend these points?
In the online store.
To get their premium battle pass?
Yes, the premium battle pass unlocks skins for our podcast icon on your phone.
Oh, but what about the monthly pass? What about the monthly pass and the premium battle pass? Don't they need that too?
It's being delayed due to too much development time. We're seeing if we can move over to AI artists to get that underway.
Oh God, I'd like to state, just on the record, in case anyone didn't get it, this was a joke. There is no store. There is no alternate thing for alternate fucking logo. Do not try to look at it. Please don't message me about it.
At least our British viewers will understand my extremely dry sarcasm.
That's a very long way to say don't at me, Brandon.
Yes. Please don't.
Anyways, no massive news.
I guess not.
I don't know anything special to add. Anyone else?
I don't think so.
I'm on 5.
Not really. I mean, the only news really is that Erstyle finds out he's half alien.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. How's it going, alien?
Half
boy?
alien and said aliens are descended from Fae.
Now when I bully you, it's xenophobia.
Did I lag there for a minute?
You did.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did,
Okay.
unfortunately.
I was trying to say, let's go into the recap. I don't know what happened there. It looked like, I guess, my microphone updated or something because I'm getting a bunch of notifications from Crisp now.
You're just trying to make all these.
I guess I was going to say it might be significant. Episode is that I guess if the episode isn't relatively short, I'll have to leave early-ish. But so I might be disappearing at some point, depending on how things go.
We're going to blackback her. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Just I don't think this episode is going to be terribly long. With what I have planned.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if I don't go at a specific time or anything.
But
Okay, we'll just stuff you in a cargo
I just
pod.
have to be up earlier tomorrow than usual.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But recap. We walked through a super dark jungle. Well, not even a jungle, forest.
It's black.
Yeah, it is. Might as well be night. We have figured out partway through relative height. Trees go up at least 4 miles. So,
Something like that, yeah.
that's a lot.
It's huge.
It is huge. We wandered around, saw some creatures that look like they belong to the bottom of our ocean. I don't know if that is part of what inspired the creatures here, Zach, but going
my reasons.
we go through a little bit and we find a dilapidated city. Exploring a little bit, we find some wooden automatons ? And signs of habitation. We do some brain fuckery to things that don't have brains. Find out that things were just kind of living here like that. We go into the tallest building, I believe in the center. Find one still operational, but it freaks the fuck out and just kind of assumes the fetal position when we arrive.
Yeah. It was writing into a desk so bad it was carving out the desk.
Yeah.
Weird, though. About the fetal position part, not the carving into a desk part.
I mean, I was a teenager. And then we saw a strange-looking building structure. Upon investigation, we find a talking, if I remember correctly, and my notes are correct, tree. We're able to communicate with.
Not really a tree.
Well, it is a tree, but the tree is also the structure, which is a ship.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird.
The trunk and branches of the tree are on the inside, but it from at least the way it sounds, the roots and branches basically extend into the floor and ceiling and walls. So it is all one piece.
Very much.
I don't know if the branches are attached to anything, but they might not be.
Yeah.
At the very least,
the branches are. The roots are.
But in the passages that were in the main building, what we could decipher is they were awaiting rescue.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to
lagging a bit.
Oof.
But they were.
I think that.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Starting to think that the the Wi-Fi connection on this computer just sucks. Because last time I was in a hotel, I thought it was because of that.
Get a dongle.
Could be.
Yeah, fucking. Light.
But we communicate with the ship for a bit, find out that its name is, and correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Castien?
Yep.
Castien.
Upon conversing with it, we find out that it and its inhabitants were going to be settlers of a new world, which apparently was our world.
It was not this world.
Oh, it was not this world?
Here.
It crashed into
Not
this
intentionally. Yeah, they were not.
Yeah,
they're not here intentionally.
It was attacked by something in the astral, and sort of used here to try to get its ship back together, and that didn't really work out.
Yeah, it sent out an SOS. The SOS was not answered, and we calculated a rough idea of how long it's been sitting here. The answer is 73,000 years.
And counting.
And counting. So, it's been a bit.
Yeah, while we were talking to this intelligent craft tree thing, we found out what the previous occupants and newfound settlers look like long ago when they first crash landed. They look like elves. They're basically elves.
Yeah, they're the wood elves.
Urstyle's an alien. Confirmed.
Half alien.
Welcome, Commander.
Ooh.
The
Which means he
XCOM
has
initiative.
But yeah, so there's a little bit of mindfuckery going on. In the metaphorical sense, not the literal sense. Thank God.
No elephants yet.
Yeah, not yet. So now we're trying to figure out what our next steps are, since we are stranded in a where a civilization essentially crash landed 73,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we might not be permanently stranded, as we discussed with Castien. Its objective is basically moot. And he seemed willing to go with us if we could get him back up and running.
Which is going to be a very fun time, because now we have to sit here and figure out how future tech that is also ancient tech works.
Well,
Magic.
it's not really tech in the usual sense. Castien, the tree, was created via a growing ritual, as he mentioned. He, if I understand correctly, it was potentially the previous soul of a wood elf, if the growing ritual used to create Castien is the same kind that's used to create the trees that they...
that you don't know for sure.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll just...
No, there were just similarities to what Erstall remembers being told as a kid about burial rituals and the traumatic experiences of the forlorn settlers had to do to try and survive and keep themselves somewhat in line with their old selves, I guess it is.
Well, so to clarify, the planting is done to preserve the soul of a wood elf, because the wood elves, at the very least, descend from the spring port which fled Maguire.
Okay.
Well, it's not called the spring court. I keep fucking forgetting our fucking term for spring.
That one, though.
Fucking correct this now. Rain Crown. They're the descendants of Rain Crown. They, because of that, coming to the mortal world, they eventually stabilized and became truly mortal themselves. They don't have souls because, as you all found out, humans were the first mortals, as far as you understand, or at least some version of humanity, the Nephilim.
Yeah.
But what else came after that happened?
Yeah, after
so they don't have souls.
Created the parts of the universe's underpinning that make souls and an afterlife a thing.
Well, I should say they do have souls. It's that their souls fade because their souls are not connected to any kind of afterlife. So their souls go through the process of what is known as fading. And so their souls just kind of linger and just evaporate without a body in a short period of time. But these wood elves that had crashed here, they were, from what you all found out, exposed to some kind of energy, which led to their bodies rapidly decaying. Those that survived the initial wave of the energy had to transfer to these temporary bodies, which they knew could not hold them forever. So they were trying to find a solution to that while they had materials available, and it looks like they ran out of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still haven't confirmed what the radioactive creature was, but apparently it was highly radioactive because it killed some instantly, I think.
Yes. The ship, or Castien, explained to you that there were wood elves whose flesh literally fell off of their bones into a goo.
Yeah. For now, I think it would make sense to refer to it as a core demon.
Yeah.
Came from underground.
But where's the demon's core?
I don't know. I haven't met it.
Well, you think there's the demon's shadow.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you're all standing here in the ship. When we left off, you were kind of giving the down low of what has brought you here.
Yeah.
And Castien has been absorbing this information like a fucking sponge.
Is it all right, what did we start with? I don't remember how much we had gotten through.
We skipped over it because we don't need to RP you explaining the entire campaign. Yeah. Don't need to RP that.
We have an episode for that. Go watch it.
Something I wanted to ask about, Castien, to at least your perception when you landed here, was the over? Oh no, never mind. That was already answered. Different question. You mentioned you were created with a growing ritual, and it sounded like it was similar to the ones used for wood elf burial in more recent times in other places here. Is it the same kind of ritual? Did your soul previously belong, or were you previously a wood elf yourself? Or did you originally come into being in your current form?
No. My species was created with magic. We were explicitly grown for, well, initially as artificial memory, in a sense, while having spirits be retained as long as the trees remained.
Mm-hmm.
Souls can still forget things. They can also be biased. They decided there was a need for trees that could store things without bias in vast quantities without risk of memory loss, outside of damage or destruction, of course. And so my species of tree was created. And eventually they looked at new ways of adapting the use of us. And this form, as you see me now, is one such adaptation.
Fascinating. Did they, I suppose to prevent bias, did they create you without any sort of emotion as we would understand it? Or what exactly did that mean?
Emotion is something I can ascribe a technical definition to. If it would make you feel better, you can say I do experience emotion. I have my own experiences and my own, what you may call, feelings.
Okay.
But I doubt if we were to find some way to quantify and compare that they would look much the same.
I see. It wouldn't really make me feel better or worse either way. I'm just curious, I'll admit. And you said you would be willing to come with us and to transport us back to our home if we were able to get you healed and operational again, right?
Yes, the colony mission has been failed, so I am not beholden to anything. And, well, quite frankly, I would like to see something other than this abyssal forest.
Interesting.
I imagine your closeness to the radioactive beast probably doesn't help. Or it's probably not comfortable.
No, certainly not.
Sorry, what was it, Ursa?
Well, I'm just gonna sit here and ask you, Castien, what's the status of everything going on with needing repairs?
There are two major components that I could make use of.
Mm-hmm.
The first was mostly completed. It needs some final steps performed. Probably some new juice pumped into it, so to speak.
Okay.
Which is a alchemical preparation known as Ezophyr. It is effectively liquefied ether. It is, as some would call, well, as some of your folk would call, a wonder fuel.
Wonder fuel?
Yes. I don't need a lot of it, but you could say it is a sort of magical component to make me able to fly.
Interesting.
Without getting in the nitty-gritty details. The other thing I need is an apparatus gem. The one currently in my core is cracked beyond functionality, reasonable functionality. which I need to help navigate.
Right. Intriguing.
There are other secondary systems that are dependent on these things as well, but so long as these two things are handled, the rest I can do on my own.
When we encountered...
Okay.
Oh, sorry. When we encountered the temporary bodies of your previous occupants, or your previous crew, it seemed that healing magic actually worked on the gems in their chests. Would it work on your gem as well?
No. Their gems were ritually prepared for holding a soul and thus charged with positive life energies. Mine does not work in that way. I interface with the apparatus gem, which is etched with fine runic magics. I interface it for navigational purposes, among other things.
Question.
Yes.
How do we get one of those gems if it's cracked?
So, this is how this all went poorly. A scan indicated there were gems that would work. Sizable diamonds in the ravine below us. It would take some digging, but we could find them. In the excavation of such gems is when the radiation wave came. I am not sure how far along the excavation got. I can see that there was significant mining done down there, but the images are too hazy for me to identify exactly how close or if they did manage to extract a significantly sized diamond.
You said the radiation was emitted by a creature that was found?
That is what the report said.
Did the creature do anything other than that? Or
No. My only assumption is, whatever it is, it's either trapped down there or has no interest in leaving. Or possesses some other motive for not emerging to finish what it started.
Is there some way to protect against this energy?
And we, the time and materials, and the craftsmen, or at least the time to train you to have the knowledge and the abilities to become proper craftsmen, I could educate you in the means of creating gear that would protect you against such energies. But otherwise, what I would advise is to, if you are to venture down there, to go quickly and quietly. Do not draw any unnecessary attention or noise to yourselves. And hopefully nothing happens. And if something does happen, do not linger. Run as fast as you can. You want to limit exposure to the energy as much as possible.
If it was melting flesh from bone at a close distance, I imagine it would still do something that we would not want even further away.
Yes, it is very bad for bodily health long term.
It sounds like the radiation isn't constant. The creature let out a burst of it rather than emitting it all the time.
Correct.
So if it is, well, if it's
the
remained
radiation
idle,
the radiation that was released all those years ago was quite briefly lived, faded very quickly.
How quick is quick?
Well, lethal doses disappeared in the course of hours. The lingering amount of radiation took some years to disappear, but it was not immediately lethal. But at that point, everybody in the area had already been washed over by a significant dose of it, so that health complications were occurring.
Interesting.
If there hasn't been any activity since then, it sounds like the creature is either idle for some reason, maybe asleep, or went somewhere else somehow. I think your advice of going quickly and quietly is the best course of action, so that if it is still there, we don't wake it up.
Yes, if you are able to go down there and safely retrieve a sizable diamond, and the screen will flash like a diagram with like measurements and stuff, and Castien is indicating a diamond that's like a foot long, about 6 to 8 inches wide. Like it's a big fucking rock.
Yeah. Kind of glance over at Tilk. Do we think we can carry something that large?
I mean,
I'll make sketches in his notebook, the dimensions and everything.
I can.
Yeah, I'll look
Do we
closely
have
at
any
it. So that I
tools
can
to excavate something like that?
commit the diagram to memory. Well, there might still be tools down there if they weren't reduced to slag.
Reduced to slag or rotted away at this point.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on what they were made of.
Yes, if you can retrieve the diamond, I can guide you in preparing it as a proper apparatus gem, and the deinstallation of the broken one and the installation of the new one.
All right. I think I can take care of the diamond preparation. The alchemical concoction sounds like your field of expertise there still.
Eventually. Also, Castien, do you have any last known locations on your map of the area of where they were working with getting the diamond?
The screen will flash and show like a kind of blurry scan of the ravine. Like it's pretty clear at the top, but like as it progressively gets deeper, it is like blurrier. And there is like, a red circle pops up at like pretty close to the bottom of this ravine. And you think you can kind of make out a tunnel entrance down there. It was here near the bottom of the ravine that scans had picked up high likelihood of suitable diamonds for this.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm not sure if anyone on our plane has ever found a diamond of that size, but if your scans are picking up something that seems correct, I'm inclined to take a look.
It's a matter of knowing where to look.
Mm-hmm. Regarding the alchemical thing, Castien.
What about the alchemical thing?
I was asking Castien regarding the alchemical wonder fuel he's going to need.
What would you like to know?
When you say wonder fuel of mixed with ether, what? So at least I'm not too familiar with it. I'm not sure if Liana might have learned anything of that nature with the with your wizard mentor.
Would I have?
Is there anything you?
No.
Okay.
What's something you can equate in our world that is similar to this aether fuel?
I unfortunately lack the knowledge of the capabilities of your world to accurately indicate a equivalent. What I can tell you is Ethosphere is a highly concentrated mana that goes through a very careful alchemical process to refine it. Should the process go wrong, well, I just ask you follow my instructions precisely.
Or kaboom.
Right.
Okay. Intriguing. I think for now we should probably focus on trying to get the diamond. Learning the alchemical process is probably going to be not as difficult as trying to sneak our way through and not disturb this radiation creature thing.
Yeah. Both the process of finishing the fuel and preparing the apparatus gem will take time. So getting all resources together first is my recommendation.
Well, we know where one resource is. In the case of the base gem for the apparatus gem. The fuel might be another matter, though.
What we can worry about, so we take care of at least the diamond. It looks like there's going to be a lot more things to figure out of how to equate or find parallels within our realm and whatever mana concentration was developed.
Yeah. Will any other specialized tools or materials be needed for the apparatus gem?
There are tools available here on the ship.
Oh, perfect.
Are there any leftover mining or excavation tools?
I am unaware of the status of those tools. They had taken them with them down into the ravine. They did not come back up with them.
I can't really blame them, I guess.
Yes. Is there anything left in your cargo holds or any of your supply bays?
As far as food stores is concerned, not particularly. Although my scans indicate that the berries on the surrounding vines throughout the town are edible, amongst some of the wildlife as well. There is a small stash of weaponry, although it has been uncared for a long time. And there are some clothes, as well as odds and ends that once belonged to the people throughout the town.
I'm surprised clothes would have lasted this long.
Clothes in storage are sealed from the environment.
Interesting. So I'm curious on what kind of armaments they would have come with and had left over, but I do think that will have to be at a different time.
Yes.
Keep in mind, this was a colony ship. We were not exactly armed for conflict.
No, but defense is important, even for colonists.
Especially for colonists. You don't know what kind of wildlife will be in a new place. Ugh, I cannot speak tonight.
I think it's a little bit of a hunger.
Or a lack of sun.
Or both.
Probably both.
Either way, I think we might want to move on.
Yeah, we We have managed to gather a small stash of the berries on the way, so starting
They're
to
not one for food.
dip into that probably be good.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
And then if the gem is the material that we know the location of the best, then I don't see why we shouldn't go and do that first. It's probably the most dangerous and location dependent task.
Yeah. Castien, is there a
Yes.
pathway from your location that we could use to get down to the last or to this supposed location of diamonds? Let's make it a little bit easier for us to find our way and not get lost in the vines en route.
You will find in the rear wall there is a small gate that the mining teams used to pass out of the settlement and to access the ravine. You should also find a makeshift elevator. Assuming it's still intact.
There.
How long were people mining before the creature woke up? I say woke up like I know exactly how it happened, but you know what I mean.
A few weeks. It took some time to get through the rock to get to the gems in question. From what we could gather from the surviving reports, it sounds like they had found the gems, and then as they were trying to carefully extract them, the energy wave came. Granted, these were people who were not immediately there to know all the details, but this is what was reported the day of.
Yeah. All right, so I think we can be pretty confident that noise might not necessarily be a problem. At least not. I mean, we should still be careful, but it's less worrying than it was to me a minute ago.
Yeah, it sounds like it's more moving.
It might be moving the gems in particular.
That's what I was thinking.
Depending on how closely that correlated. Did anyone describe the creature? Was anyone able to see it? Who survived?
None of the survivors saw it.
Oh, okay.
Well, sounds like it's going to be especially dangerous if anyone who did see it didn't live.
Hey, Castien.
We'll have to have a plan.
Do you have any readings of that kind of radiation from any of the miners or anyone else that was affected from when that radiation came through?
Yes.
Can we see it?
Sure. And there is a ocean of data you have no idea how to read that floods the screen.
Looks down at notepad, looks back at screen, looks down at notepad, looks back at screen.
I think that might
that ain't alchemy.
I'm gonna need more paper.
Is it Arcana?
No.
What about engineering?
No, engineering's not gonna help you. This is outside the bounds of what you would realistically be able to understand.
Yeah, I know.
Can I appraise the information, sir?
Oh my God.
How valuable is it?
Well, considering it killed a lot of people in one burst of a wave of energy, with little to no warning, the military certainly would be interested.
Information you don't want to tell anybody.
It's great for the military industrial complex.
We don't need like that to be weaponized and have nuclear war become a thing.
We invented nuclear arms.
But I want Death Ray.
You know, you can't hug your children with nuclear arms.
Oh, big
I mean,
monster.
you can, just only once.
Well, that's
If you play Trinity Continuum Aberrant, you can.
Oh God.
when Rhea gets
And here
disintegrated,
goes
she gets that's Death Ray.
That's true.
Zema.
Did Actual Play Broadcast just confirm they're going to play Aberrant in the future? I don't know. Maybe we did.
Maybe we confirmed we won't.
If Zemian gets his way, we will.
Stay tuned. I mean, if I get my way, that game's really cool, I think.
It does sound cool.
Okay.
All right, so we have a mystery creature, no real knowledge on its physicality, but it can release an incredible wave of lethal energy very quickly without warning. But we don't know exactly what it is that wakes it up, but it might, or rather, it did correlate timing-wise with the attempted extraction of the crystal. Whether that caused it, we don't know yet. Okay. But it does seem like the crystal is already exposed, or at least it was at the time. I mean, it's been such a long time that things may have shifted a bit, but at least we don't have to worry about mining for it. That would probably take too long. Well, I mean, I guess there isn't really too long on the scale we're working with, but there aren't a lot of us. We're not exactly trained miners.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think we should go see if the elevator is working.
are we all?
That'd be
gonna
a
go
good
down
start. Oh, I think if we do more than just scouting, we want to have an exit plan in place.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If whatever this is disturbed by the activity, then we're going to need to move as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So if we go to this elevator,
yeah.
so if we go to this elevator, do we need it? Actually, Castien, do you know if the elevator needs to be operated by a person, or is it self-operating?
The elevator was magicked to operate itself.
Oh. Okay.
Well, it does increase the chances that it still functions.
Well,
Certainly.
yeah. Are we all? I guess one of the things I'm trying to figure out, or I'm thinking on, is do we all go down there, or do we leave a contingent with the elevator so that we have something to kind of already get it going instead of having to try and scramble if we need to, if we are trying to hightail it out of there as fast as possible?
To be honest, if the way this creature attacks is with a burst of energy like that, I don't think there will be any hightailing it out of there once it starts doing that. Unless it takes some time to ready that ability and it just wasn't noticed last time.
Potentially. Hey, Castien.
That's not even a theory at this point, it's just a possibility.
That's
Yes.
true. Were you able to catch readings of when the radiation first burst out of wherever they were mining from?
What manner of readings are you looking for?
You know, that's a good question.
I am curious about how close they originate to the crystal. Based on your scans, at least. I know they are only so precise at that distance.
Yes, the scans were rather weak that deep underground. The display will flash with like a chart, and you can see like there's a line that is like pretty much laying on the bottom of the chart, and then it just like rapidly spikes up. There was moderate atomic excitement that escalated to an extreme degree over the course of a few seconds, from what my scans indicated. However, there might have been more of a buildup that I'm not aware of.
At the very least, at the release, there's a few seconds before it actually fully radiates, probably.
Were you able to tell if the ability was magical in nature? If it was,
unfortunately not. I have theories, but it could be a biological function as much as a supernatural function, as much as a spell. In all likelihood, if this is some manner of beast, I lean towards natural or supernatural.
I think I do as well. At least in the case of supernatural, it might have been, if there was a buildup, it might be perceptible with detect magic, but we don't know that for sure, so I don't know how much we can rely on it.
I mean, we'll find out more when we get down there.
Yeah, it's worth casting. It's not like it takes anything out of you. Well, it doesn't sound like there's much for it other than checking the elevator and trying to get down there.
Good luck.
Thanks. Hopefully we'll be back soon.
Hopefully. I would prefer not to spend eternity down here.
No, if we're not, it was nice knowing you.
If we fail, if we don't come back, we're likely dead. So you have that going for you.
I suppose so.
I wouldn't like that again.
Wait, how is that something that's going for Castien?
That they know that if we come back, that we're working on it. If we don't come back, well,
it wasn't deliberate, at least.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd prefer not to get killed again either.
Same.
I recommend not dying then.
That's a good point. I should have been
working on that.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think we're a little better at it than we were last time, at least. Haven't died since then.
True.
I'll start to. I'm kind of hanging on to anything I can, if there are railings or door frames, while I sort of.
No. This is a big open chamber.
Gosh, shit.
Had we actually figured out if there were any tools to excavate these things?
They were taken down in the ravine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It also sounds like the crystal might have been found, but it hadn't been extracted. So there might be tools for that down there. It might be that it needs to be cut away from like a vein of crystal. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, I'll do my best to sort of walk back toward the door we came in from. Do my best to not like slip on the hard floor on the way.
Yep. So
just lean against the wall.
You all
no, the hard slanted floor for those who don't remember.
But don't forget, there's also technically rope coming from the opening we used because our style decided to tie a rope and toss it down because we were at an extreme angle.
Yeah. Oh, is it attached to something like in here closer to Castien's trunk?
No, it's from the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, in that case, no, my problem right now is that I'm on a slanted hard surface and I have hooves. So they don't really grip. So I got to get to the door without falling on my ass and then falling out the door.
It's not a major issue. All you have to do is be patient.
Yeah.
You all do eventually get out of the 45-degree angle ship.
Yeah, oh, geez, I didn't realize it was tilted that much, though.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, steep. And
your inner goat.
Yeah.
Make your way outside. Following Castien's suggestion, you follow along the rear wall, and you do find a small gate.
Here it is.
And passing through the gate, you can, well, not really, it's been so long. But in the distance, you can kind of see the framework of what looks to be wooden beams for what might be the elevator sticking out of the ravine, some like 300-ish feet away. It's got like vines growing over it. And as you approach, you do see it is in fact an old wooden framework. The wood is surprisingly doesn't look rotted. Definitely looks old, aged, but not necessarily falling apart. There are vines all over. You do see there is a sort of lever that operates as a switch. The platform is there, and this platform is about, it's like a 15 by 15 square. There are some vines that you have to clear away because it looks pretty obvious that they're going to be a problem if you try to move the elevator. And the elevator itself does have safety railings where there's 2 feet up from the floor, there's a bar that wraps all the way around. And then 4 feet up from the floor, there's another bar that wraps all the way around. But it's all made out of wood.
It's up to code. I assume.
That's fair.
Depends on their codes.
If you caution to look over the edge, that ravine is deep and dark and silent.
Wonder how long they were mining here.
Well, from what you recall, the ravine was here when they first crashed.
Oh, I thought they made the ravine. I was like,
no, this is a naturally occurring formation, as far as you know.
Could have been formed by the fucking Zillow beast, for all we know.
But I mean, yeah, it takes a little bit of working at the vines to get them clear. But after a little bit, you think the elevator might be operational. The only way to really know for sure is to pull the lever and see if it actually fucking works.
Yeah, and I guess if we do our best to stand near the framework. Worst case, if the elevator starts falling, we might be able to hop off it and grab onto the frame.
Yeah.
And then just do our best from there.
Yeah.
Well, worst comes to worst, I might have something to help with that.
Oh, okay.
I'd prefer not to, but,
Yeah, I would like to look over the elevator with Detect Magic to try to determine the state of its enchantment to make sure that's still good to go.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, what do you all want to do?
Oh, did you hear me?
No.
Oh, I would like to look over the elevator with Detect Magic to try to determine the state of its enchantment to see if its magic is still fully in place and operational.
Yeah, you see like a moderate aura that's active. It's, not super bright, but you can tell there is a degree of permanency going on. Overall, it's pretty simple magic.
Yeah, it just moves the platform up and down, I assume.
Yeah. But yeah, the magic seems to be intact.
All right. At least magically, it seems operational. Oh, I suggest we take it slow if it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't see a speed setting anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a thing where just like pull the lever further while go faster, or if it's just the lever on and off.
I mean, you haven't pulled the lever yet. You don't know for sure, but you're definitely not seeing any knobs or dials or nothing. So
yeah, or reach over and pull
lever or nothing.
Slowly.
Is everybody getting on and then pulling the lever?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
just
Pulling the lever slowly.
Get on there by itself.
There's some initial give, and then it like gets a little tight, and then you really gotta like put a little muscle into it.
How much money? Still, all right, some milk.
Yep.
Yeah, it actually doesn't even reach halfway, and she's like fucking struggling, and it's like not budging. But Tilk, once you throw some weight into it, you like hear what you think is probably like some calcified rock or something finally like crunch in the mechanism, and then the lever goes full tilt to the opposite side. Nothing happens, and then there's a jerk.
I'm sure that was a good.
And then it starts slowly descending, like 5 miles an hour.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, at least it seems to be moving. Hopefully, it moves back.
That's true. It wouldn't really. It wouldn't do to find the gem and then just not be able to get back up this cliff.
Yeah.
Long and awful climb.
It would be.
As it gets past like the first like 50, 60 feet, it does pick up speed a little bit.
Okay. This was made on entirely Elven timetables and just went that slow.
Based off of how it's going, it'll still take a few minutes to get to the bottom, because I know Dami, Brandon, and Ollie just love elevators that take minutes.
Elevator con.
What?
He's fucking
So for everybody who doesn't understand the reference, go listen to the Alien actual play.
Yeah.
Also, yes.
But yeah, it takes about like 20 minutes to get to the bottom. And it fucking dark. Somehow the air feels stiller down here. Like, and the air almost like feels thin almost. Like it's not hard to breathe, but you feel almost a little short of breath. Like, oh man.
I'd never do trying to pull that lever, did I?
I mean, mines always kind of have a worse airflow, right? So it's all like stale and shit here.
Yeah.
Are we in the open ravine still, or does the elevator go like down into
You're in the open. When it comes down to the bottom, like you're reaching like this kind of, it's uneven down here outside of like the platform you're coming up to or coming down to. There's essentially like a wooden platform that's been built. And you can see there are various like tools and some wheelbarrows and stuff, but they're all like the metal bits have been melted. The wood is mostly disintegrated. You also see these strange, like pale grayish, just globs that look like hard. They look like weirdly colored, like rocks, but if you had like half melted a rock. Like imagine dried magma but gray, effectively. And they're kind of like, there are like piles of this stuff like scattered all about.
So the remains from the blast, maybe? Do they seem just like the more melted side? of them seem to like face toward an epicenter?
It's literally like a puddle of gray shit.
Oh, okay.
But whatever it is, looks like it's hard, like a rock.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten close to examine one of these formations yet. But beyond the platform, which the greater platform itself is about like a 60 by 60 platform. Because the ravine kind of widens out from where you came down from. But beyond this platform, the rock, it's relatively flat, but it's uneven from what you can tell. The vines do not grow down here. There is no light source down here. It's utterly silent beyond any noises you all make. It's almost painfully aware of hearing your own breathing just about.
I am going to cast Detect Magic. Just to get a good a glance in here in case it's steeped in it or what have you.
I'll do the same. And I'll be able to find the elevator pretty easily that way.
As you look around, you both can see faint auras glittering. These gray, melty rock piles are giving off this faint aura.
That is what I kind of worry about. Do you think the gray rock piles are the things that make the radiation? Like maybe it's not one, but like a bunch of small things that when they're awoken or activated.
Sure.
Maybe there's something behind it that's magical. We are looking for.
As we focus on it, what do these show up as in strength and school and whatnot?
Yeah, let me pull up.
We are looking for a diamond that's supposed to help with navigation. There could be other such crystals. There's just one that we're looking for is specific.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that's a possibility, but I want to make sure that we're going in armed with as much information as we can. And if these things are radiation stones or what have you, then we know. And if they're not, then we don't really need to worry about them.
Don't worry, that they might be remains of the people who were here if they were rendered into a different substance than what they started in.
You think they were transmuted from like wood to stone?
Well, they weren't made of wood yet at the time, I don't think.
Oh, I thought all of them were made of wood. They just had different kinds of like soul gems.
No, the reason they were put in their temporary bodies in the first place was because the survivors' bodies were failing from the radiation sickness, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Okay. You mean these guys were before that? Okay.
Yeah. If that is the case, I guess my logic is that
well, then that's worse. It turned them from flesh to stone.
I mean, if enough energy is put into something to cause a chemical change into a no longer organic compound, they might still be around in some form. We are what?
You are detecting a faint transmutation aura.
Okay.
That's strange.
Well, then maybe it did change them from something to this.
Yeah. Well, we won't know unless we get closer.
Can I? Oh, I guess. I guess if we can see about getting closer and maybe get some more information off of it, I might be able to analyze the magic a bit.
Yeah, I mean, how dark is dark down here?
You need dark vision to see or a light source if you do not have dark vision.
Yeah, I think we're gonna cast dancing light since not all of us have dark vision.
Yeah, it was
I would like to see.
I wanted to cast it or not. Well, it's faster to put it out than a torch, I suppose. So,
yeah.
If we need to.
So dancing lights.
I guess so.
Okay. Yep. So dancing light globules come out. Those of you who cannot see in the dark can now see the scene as described. Our two magic people are approaching one of these gray, like melty rock formation things.
On the way over, I'm going to cast Mage Armor as well.
Okay. I guess my question to you is how close do you want to get? Are you saying we want to get close, like we want to stand 15 feet away from it, or like we want to get up close and inspect it?
I'm gonna like stop every 5-ish feet and keep an eye out for several seconds, see if anything happens.
Okay.
Or if I start to feel sick or something.
So yeah, you get within like 10 feet of it. Nothing happens. Get within 5 feet of it, and you start like leaning in to look at it, and you see almost like a crust, the surface of it crack, and you can see this pale grayish white goo of some kind underneath, and then a couple strands kind of push out through the cracking surface and start reaching out towards you.
I am going to back away at that.
The surface of this formation continues to crack as it moves, and it just kind of slowly, like almost like it's an outer shell, like melting of a sort. As this thing moves, more of this goo kind of seeps through the cracks and like absorbs the crusty bit over it.
Oh,
and
that
it's
is
not
gross.
looking like a rock anymore as it moves.
It's a film that forms over like cheese sauce or something if you leave it out.
Yeah.
Like
it kind of
ooze.
Yeah, it kind of breaks away like a film, and it continues to follow you with like these. It's almost, you'd swear, hand-shaped, reaching out towards you as it like inch by inch kind of just, it doesn't even make a noise, but you know, it's this slimy ooze-like substance that is just slowly moving across the rock towards you as it's reaching out.
Wow, that certainly is a little unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Svet, are you alright?
I mean, it didn't touch me. I just, ew. That said, now I'm a little worried that it is going to be problematic.
There are like a lot of these around, right?
Yeah, you can easily see at least like 30 of them out here in the open.
This is concerning.
Mm-hmm.
How slowly is it moving? Like, is Sveta just able to like walk away from it? Or?
Yeah, it's moving like. I hesitate to give it a move speed.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very slow.
Pathfinder folk have a 5-foot land speed, if that helps.
I would say it's like 5 feet every other round, effectively.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Well,
I mean, if we just keep moving, they might not be a problem for us. Keep moving and pay attention. Just play that thought experiment game of like the indestructible snail that kills you if it touches you.
I mean, the Gatherall or something.
I always heard it as a slug.
Yeah, the same effect, I guess.
Knowledge dungeoneering.
Oh yeah, that one.
Go for it, bud.
Yay!
Yay!
Nerd.
Yay!
Actually, since I've been reading a transmutation effect off of this, can I knowledge Arcana and see if I can recall anything like this?
Sure. 16 on dungeoneering. Definitely some kind of ooze. Oozes are pretty common in dungeons. They're very simple organisms. They don't really have like brains. They have a very, very like slow metabolism. As far as you understand, they effectively can fucking hibernate until something comes close enough to wake them up. Which, from what you can tell, that's what this one was doing. Was some kind of weird hibernation, maybe. I
got a 31.
But what kind of ooze this is, oof, you don't know. And you've heard of like green slimes and stuff like that, but nothing quite like this.
I'm concerned about the transmutation aura.
These remind me of oozes. But I don't know what kind of ooze this is. I don't think I've come across that information before.
I mean, it could be an alien elf ooze. I don't know.
31 on the Arcana check. Considering how many there are of these piles and seeing that the aura is coming from these things, it's safe to assume that these were once something else.
Yeah.
You can't
So they are alien elf.
You can't recall a specific thing that you've seen or heard of before. It's not unusual to hear. Well, it's not common. It's not common to hear of things being utterly transmuted into something else as far as living things are concerned. Outside the magical process of turning a living body into a dead body.
You can do them non-magically too.
There are things that can temporarily, like disguise self and stuff like that, but whatever this is seems permanent.
Yeah, that's sort of what I assumed, but it's good to know that that is a correct assumption.
Yeah. That was kind of my worry, because that's somehow even more terrifying than just having been killed.
Yeah. That is horrifying, yeah. So I think these are I don't want to call them elves anymore, especially with the whole soul thing they were talking about. I don't think there's anything in there, and hasn't been for a while, but
yeah.
Let's just try to keep our distance from him and not wake up too many. It only seemed to start getting active once I got too close to it.
Yeah. Question I have though is that why would a creature want to do that? What benefit does it get?
It might
Clearly
not be
it's not eating them.
Yeah, it might be a side effect, a byproduct.
Maybe.
Or it's intelligent and this is some sort of punishment.
Maybe.
I think it's best that we avoid these things.
Yes.
Agreed.
So what are we going to do with our wobbly fellow here?
With this
We
one?
could try to destroy it, or we could just leave it. It's not moving very fast.
I say we try to leave it in case it wakes up others if we try to destroy it.
I mean, it may wake up others either way.
Yeah, it's easy to avoid when there's just one. It's probably a little harder when they're surrounding us.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably going to be the big tough thing, is if we're moving around a giant diamond and these are waking up, that might be a bit problematic.
Yeah. How big did you say the diagram showed the diamond to be?
It's about a foot long, about half a foot wide.
Yeah, 6 to 8 inches wide.
Carryable by one person, but pretty heavy rock.
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty hefty. Like,
yeah,
I've never had a big diamond, so I guess I don't know if they're heavy, but it seems like something like that should be heavy.
I mean, most other rocks that are that size are pretty heavy, so.
Yeah, well, I don't know if like gems are lighter than rocks because they're see-through and stuff.
So Do you want to attempt to murderify the ooze, or do you want to just ignore it?
Leave it be.
Okay.
They can drop something inanimate near it and see what happens.
You can if you want.
To have anyway. I'll set one of my pieces of parchment in its path.
Oh,
and see if it just.
That's actually a good question.
What's going on?
I set a piece of parchment in its path.
I see.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta
see if it dissolves it or something.
I gotta check to see if it does do anything. I wasn't expecting that. I need to be prepared for introducing paper to the ooze.
I think
it dissolves like a snail in salt.
like that just kills it. But,
yeah, that's its bane is parchment.
No, now we have a summoning scroll. We can now just summon gray ooze.
Scrolls are now Pokeballs.
Yeah. They work like the scrolls in like Naruto, or they can store things and symbols.
Yeah. I'll say, like, as it makes contact with it, the parchment like begins to curl and blacken and like turn to ash.
I was gonna say parchment is treated animal skin too, so it is biological effect. Well, so is paper, I guess.
Yeah. Well, paper is tree, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to touch that.
Nope.
I can keep the parchment though.
I don't think we get the choice in that.
Yeah, let's So what was the consensus on what to do with this one?
I think we were gonna leave it.
We're gonna leave it.
In case killing it wakes up others.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be hard to avoid, and if we do need to kill it on our way out, that shouldn't be particularly difficult.
Hopefully. I've never fought an ooze before. So let's do our best to go around it then. Give it a bit of a berth along with the other dormant ones.
It's the other dormant ones, they're spread out enough. It's not too hard to avoid waking them up. You figure you only as long as you stay beyond 5 feet, they don't seem to agitate.
Okay.
That's good.
You see the tunnel entrance that Castien had indicated. It's about a 10-foot wide, 10-foot tall tunnel.
All right.
Going into the mouth of it, you immediately have to go around another one, and another one, and another one. And you are essentially actively just weaving around some of these piles. And some of these piles are actually fairly large. It looks like there might have been multiple people died in the same spot.
I'm just kind of merged together into one goo.
Yeah. And you follow this tunnel for about 200 feet. It does narrow down near the end to a 5-foot wide tunnel for like the last 15 feet. Barely 6 foot tall. And bringing your globules with you. Luckily, none of these puddle things are, in this small section.
Okay, I was a little worried about that.
Yeah. Shining the light in there from the globules, you can see on the floor a big ass diamond. Covered in something, though. It's not as shiny as you would expect. There's maybe it's dust, maybe it's something else. You're not sure what, but there is something on it. And you can see the remnants of a tool that was like melted, and you can see the caved in spot in the wall where you assume the diamond was extracted from. This is what you're seeing from like 15 feet away.
Yeah. So the diamond is, not in its original spot anymore. It is loose. So that's
yes,
good.
It is loose and on the floor.
There are melted remains of a tool, and there's no other path that another creature could have come through, is there?
Correct.
Looking at, I'm whispering now in character, but I'll talk low, but I want to be heard through the microphone.
Stage whisper.
Yeah. Looking at how this is all arranged, I think I'm inclined to think that the wave of energy might have come from the diamond itself.
I will cast a detect magic. Taking a look at the diamond.
As will I.
Else
I might still no auras.
Shake my head.
What's that stuff on it?
That I'm not sure about.
Do we want to? We want to like throw a rock at the diamond, see if that triggers something.
Not entirely.
It might trigger us being melted.
I mean, I'd rather the radiation come from like 30 feet away than 5. Granted, we have to grab the diamond regardless, but I like living.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys have better ideas, then by all means. I'm just pitching things.
I don't really have a good idea, but our style is just.
Our style's just.
Our style is going to inch his way toward.
You
Are those
start shuffling down.
Here? Oh, no,
one of the what?
in here. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sound like you got a little cut out there, Zach.
No, you're good. You start shuffling down the tunnel.
Slowly, but
and yeah, I'm assuming you're going up with the intent to pick up the diamond, or do you have something else in mind?
I'm going up to not necessarily pick up the diamond, but I'm going up and I'm wanting to. Oh, actually, do I have something I could use to kind of brush the surface of the diamond to get a better look at this thing? I do, actually. I'll take a sheet out of my notebook and use it to kind of touch the surface of the diamond itself. I'm not picking it up just yet.
As he gets closer, Sveta's going to kind of inch to like the best kind of cover she can find nearby.
Well, there's not really any cover. This is a man dug out tunnel.
Yeah.
And there are puddles of previously people behind you that you need to not agitate.
So what I'm hearing is hide behind Tilk.
Naturally.
All out.
Sveta inches behind Tilk, just kind of peeking out from behind him.
Sveta is being overwhelmed by her anxiety. Or style, like you take your material and swipe it across the diamond and look at it in the light. You can see like dust and stuff that looks like black kind of gravelly bits, undoubtedly from the surrounding rock. But also, curiously enough, there's almost like this dried bluish something. At a glance, you almost want to say it almost looks like sapphire sand, which you would know from your time in the city doing work with your
mentor,
inebriated mentor. Was a very popular drug amongst the rich. However, it would make no sense for it to be here. Because it's mined out of very specific places, and this place does not match the requirements for that whatsoever.
Maybe we just found a new place and there's more places to find it. Who knows? Interesting. What do I remember about the effects of sapphire sand?
Oh, it is essentially magical cocaine.
Cocaine!
Cocaine!
Potion of haste.
Yes,
highly addictive.
Highly wizard hat.
Well, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, at a glance it looks like it, but considering the circumstances, you're not so sure that's what it is. Granted, you've never seen the stuff up close, but that's your first instinct on what it is with its dusty appearance.
I gently touch the sand on the paper. Does it cause a reaction when I touch it?
No.
Okay.
It will in 40 years
fact,
when you get skin cancer.
It is vaguely sticky. Not enough to actually cause your finger to like start to stick, but enough to be kind of annoying.
Intriguing.
I like how powdered sugar is if it's on something you're eating. Just like, yeah, it will just not go away unless you actually wash it off.
Much.
Well, sounds like something useful I can use in the future. I am tempted to collect more.
If you can figure out where it came from.
Do I?
Here, still, what are you thinking?
Well, whatever this residue is on top of the diamond, it is sticky.
Sticky?
Like a web or something?
Like when you have candied apple.
Huh.
It's just a little tacky. Is it only on top, or is it? Can you tell if it's coating the whole thing?
Is it like some sort of fungus or something?
If you look at the diamond again, it does look like, from where the diamond is laying, it seems the top half is coated in the stuff.
Only seems to be the part that's sticking out of the ground, which looks like the top.
Is it like some sort of fungus or something?
No, not plant. It's not plant-like, or any other kind of that similar nature. It's just icky.
Or like a slime mold.
Tool look like?
No,
I mean, the remains of the tools are just puddles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you mentioned they're
hardened puddles.
Yeah, they just got melted.
Yeah,
old-fashioned melted, not turned into sapien goo.
Well, Erstyle's going to try and wipe off as much of this weird, icky stuff, and also try to save it.
Sure. It'll take considerable effort to scrape it off the diamond. But you can spend a few minutes doing that.
Once he's done, he'll try to see if he can lift the diamond.
Oh yeah, you can pick it up just fine. Picking it up, you see it shimmering in the light. You can see from the side that you cleaned off, you can now more easily see how it would have fitted into the hole in the wall before they extracted it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see in that light, actually comparing to where it would have fit in the wall. The texture of the rock changes part of the way into the wall where it was pulled out of.
It is? Huh.
Yeah. It's subtle but noticeable.
Is the residue on the side that seemed to be in the wall, or the side that was exposed?
The side with the residue was what would have been in the wall, from what you can tell.
Yeah. Hey, Tilk.
Yes.
Come grab diamond.
I wonder if the diamond was embedded in the skin of a creature or something. Like if that change in texture might be what that is.
Potentially. Ursula wants to examine, after Ursula hands off the diamond to Tilk, Ursula wants to examine where the diamond popped off from.
Tilk will come.
How would you like to examine it as Tilk takes the diamond?
I'm just going to visually inspect it as close as without touching it.
Yeah, so the rock, it's, frankly, it's pretty rock-like. It's pretty rough-looking, really bumpy and stuff. But when you, part of the way in, you can see it's still like a hard, rocky-type texture, but it's got more, there's more like fine lines, like ridges almost, compared to the rest of the rock that just has this general granular bumpiness to it.
Knowledge dungeoneering. Does this remind me of any material or other geos that I've probably learned about?
Not particularly.
Holy fuck. How far does this part of the wall go? Like how far up? Like how far left and right?
From what you can tell, it looks like that the change covers most of the width of the diamond. It's about 7 inches deep.
Interesting. First, I was going to take out more paper from his notepad. He's going to reach in with the paper and kind of just touch the area where the diamond would have been planted in.
Okay. It doesn't seem to be sticky like the diamond was. However, through the paper, you can feel that bit of rock is warmer than the rest of the rock.
Oh. Oh. That. That's a little interesting. That's definitely a little interesting.
All right, we got what we wanted. We should probably get moving before these things eventually creep up on us.
Yeah, I don't want to be down here.
Yeah. As interested as I am in speculating about the nature of this creature, I don't think it's good to do it up close.
I'm not hearing any naysayers, so I take it you all are backing out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I was worried I was lagging or
like,
something for a second.
it's like Erstyle will eventually follow everyone, but he's kind of just still kind of intrigued by everything, by what's going on with this rock face.
Okay. As you all are, yeah.
I was going to ask, would
Yeah.
a knowledge? Okay, we can't. From where we're standing, we can't really see much of anything else because this is a tunnel, right?
Correct.
Okay. Engineering didn't really work. Geography is not going to work anything. No real reason to. Well, I could probably do knowledge arcana, but I don't even think Erst would have learned anything in any of the books his drunk mentor had.
Did I hear
Always
about
try.
anything like this from Tremock? Because this is wild.
You know what? Why not? Let's
Always make a roll.
Let's roll a knowledge arcana for shit and giggle.
Yeah.
This will be boosted by mythic abilities.
I will assist you if I can.
Yeah, I'll do the same. For knowledge arcana, I cannot fail, so take the +2.
Can't fail to assist.
I have a +16.
Doesn't
Okay, so yeah, he automatically passes.
Yeah, that's why I know you're paranoid. I still can't fail.
Okay.
That's right. It's automatic pass.
Yeah. Sveta is very good at the arcana.
Yeah. I also succeeded on assisting. If that, I don't actually know if more than one person can assist.
With the mention of it potentially being a living creature that the diamond was embedded in, you do recall from your alchemy lessons, there historically have been times where some alchemists, especially wizards, would summon and keep around certain type of earth elementals because they had the ability to grow crystals out of them. Granted, it was often an abhorred practice because the spirits didn't like it. But that was a thing.
Oh.
Now you don't know for sure if this is an elemental, but
that's still concerning.
Crystals growing out of something that is, by a type of definition, alive is not entirely unheard of.
Oh. Okay. Well, potentially, this vaguely reminds me of an elemental.
Oh. A diamond elemental? Of radiation?
Well, a elemental of the earth variety.
Wow.
So some of them can
I guess diamonds
manifest
are
or at least
earth.
grow, natural gems and minerals.
That makes sense.
But I know not of anything that sounds of this radiation. And I don't know if I really want to find out. Because if that's how big the diamond has been growing on this elemental, and this is only a portion of the elemental in this tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big elemental.
Maybe
And it's an old elemental.
Sounds like
maybe if the diamond is part of it, then another mineral is. I don't know what causes that kind of radiation. I don't study rocks.
That
I
sounds like
imagine it.
that sounds like a discussion we should have away from it. So let's get on the elevator.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they said that talking doesn't rouse it, right?
Well, but does removing the diamond?
Yeah, it does. Probably.
Well, I think plucking the diamond from it
from the
probably
body
hurt.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it disturbed it.
We should go. I agree.
Less talking, more running.
Yeah. Well
more
just casual leaving.
Yeah.
You all start going back towards the entrance of the tunnel to find your little oozy friend is making his way through the tunnel. And as he is coming through the entrance, one of the ooze that was right next to the entrance starts animating.
Oh no. How quickly was it moving its pseudopods it was reaching out with?
They essentially can only touch you if you're, in the square adjacent to them.
Yeah. I'm wondering if I might be able to jump over them before there are too many to do so.
They do count as a 5-foot square. Jumping over them could certainly be something you may attempt if you want to take that risk.
I don't know if I do. Which, okay, so it's in the wider part of the tunnel that's 10 feet wide, right? So we might have room to slip past before.
You don't. It literally is coming into the tunnel entrance and has agitated another one in the tunnel entrance. So there are two of them blocking a walking path out.
Oh, we're going to have a problem if we can't get around them somehow. We might be able to bait one of them to the other side of the hall, potentially.
Yeah, I guess if we just step 15 feet around them, it seemed to want to come towards me.
You don't have that kind of maneuvering room.
Yeah, the tunnel's only 10 feet wide.
Tunnel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I can get them both on one side of the tunnel, you guys can go around the other side. But then I guess
the unfortunate nature of the situation is there are more of these stone puddle ooze things in the tunnel with you that you were weaving around to get to the very back. So realistically, there's 3 things that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
You risk the jump and you go over them. Hopefully. You fight them, or you retreat down the tunnel and try to figure out a way to outmaneuver them and risk them waking up more of them. Which they almost certainly will.
Yeah. Let's see. Might have something I can do.
Hey, Zemian.
Yep.
These look to be like oozes.
Yep.
So, could I take some alchemical items that I have and attempt to make an alkali flask, something that is known to be good against oozes?
Oh, because they're usually acidic. or not? Are we mixing up alcohol?
I mean, yeah, you could make one.
Yeah, I do have a trait that allows me to do alchemical crafting checks with improvised tools and not necessarily needing full tools available. So I have alchemical items. I have like my fishing kit. I also have or at least I have, what is it? What was it called again? The alchemy crafting kit. So I could probably throw something together and attempt to make a chemical alkali flask. It would be an easy 20 for me to craft it, and it only would take me. Wouldn't take me that long because normally an alchemy thing would probably take. Actually, hold on. I'll come back to me because I have to take a look into seeing how long this would normally take to craft an alchemical item.
Okay. So what are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna keep an eye on them and make sure they don't get too close. Really.
I might be able to at least slow them down. Depends on how they handle verticality.
Tilk is regretting being in plate armor suddenly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Actually, this might be even better than I thought.
But Tilk is measuring up a jump. He's not going to jump, but he's just like, how best can I do this?
Well, I might be able to
it
make
could be potentially challenging. So you know, as a player, it's an acrobatics roll.
Yeah.
The DC is influenced by the fact that you are jumping a distance and you are jumping through what is a threatened square. Or, well, an occupied square.
Yeah, I don't know if these things are quick enough to make an opportunity attack, but not finding out the hard way can always be good. I might be able to make the jump a little bit easier by creating a bit of a ramp out of shadow stuff. I also might be able to drop them into a small extra dimensional hole. It wouldn't be enough to totally contain them, but it would put them lower in relation to our movement.
The ramp sounds nice.
I mean, alternatively, we can just try to kill them, I guess. I can beat them with ice rocks.
Regrettably, depending on what they do to mundane equipment, because that's kind of all I have on me, I may not be effective.
Well, let's give this a try, I suppose. Where's the... There we go. Sorry, I need to look at the components for Shadow Conjuration because I don't know if it's like loud. I have verbal somatic, so speaking voice, I assume. All right, so I'll cast it and pulling from the darkness around the place. Raise up a part of the ground, at least apparently raise up part of the ground in front of them, so that on our side we have a slope going upward toward them, and on the ooze's side there is just a flat vertical wall. So that is Expeditious Construction with Shadow Conjuration Lesser.
Okay.
I'll paste the. I don't know if like oozes can make will saves. I also don't know if like. Let me look at something real quick because this might just flat out not work on them. Shadow Conjuration. Let's see. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm doing stuff with trackpad, including scrolling, and it is not wanting to cooperate.
F.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't say anything about mindless things. It's just objects automatically succeed on will saves against the spell because, it's inanimate.
Yeah.
I don't know about mindless creatures. From what I understand, like
these are not going to roll to see if this is an illusion.
Yeah.
There's no thought.
No thought. Goo empty. All right, so I'll have to be careful climbing this, but it might make a running start a little bit easier. And starting off higher above them might help. Just do your best not to think about where that came from or what it's made of.
Deal.
I can work with that.
All right.
So
Who wants to jump first?
I'm the one who did the thing, so I can go and. If it flat out doesn't work, it's at least like I'm the one who got hurt by my plan.
I mean, if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, my hope is that at least the DC got lower or something.
The DC is lower.
Yay. My
But it
acrobatics
is acrobatics check to
+2.
make the jump.
I'm going to search that just in case. Because I rolled an 8. My acrobatics check. Oh, geez, the search is a 1. All right, I rolled a 9.
Yikers.
Yeah, so I run up I kind of hustle up it, not like a full run, up the ramp and do my best to jump from the far edge of it over the creatures.
Yeah, so you jump, you go a couple feet, and you land 1 foot inside one of the puddles, one of these oozes.
Ugh.
How deep are they anyway?
They're about like 2 foot at their thickest part. They kind of thin out at the edges.
Oh, so they like blob up a bit. So they're like.
Yeah.
And so I sink into it a bit, I assume.
Let's see. Oh, I need you to make a fortitude saving throw.
Oh, my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah. Your best saving throw.
Totally.
And 10 feet of me?
Probably, I assume.
Well, she went up this ramp and then is on the other side of these goo, technically.
Oh, yeah, it might not be 10 feet of you.
Yeah, she's technically not occupying a space with it. She's on the other side of it, but she stepped in it.
Kind of stumbled across.
So you'd have to be like on the end of this ramp.
If you get a 1 and you fail the roll, you'll be sharing a square with the ooze.
Oh, right. Like all the way in it.
Yeah. But she's more than 10 feet away. She's yeah.
So my bonus for fortitude save is the same as my bonus for acrobatics. So wish me luck.
Good luck.
No, it's worse.
Hey, you're raining 2s. Would you like to search that?
Yeah. Well, geez, I don't even know. I don't think the DC is low enough that surging can help. I think I'll save my mythic power.
You get a 6, you get a 10.
Yeah, like the DC could be 10.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. There's a chance
I don't think the DC is 10.
There's a chance I roll 6. Like it's both of those things are not super likely.
So not surging.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to take 1 point of Constitution drain.
My boy.
Oh, drain even. Ugh.
Yes.
That's the one that doesn't go away easy.
Ollie, for poison secondary effects, the secondary effect happens immediately and then it repeats as often as it says, right?
So if they did not pass the save, the secondary will continue.
Okay. You're also going to take 1 point of strength damage.
No, I don't have very much of that to begin. I don't have a lot of it either.
I would have.
As I stumble to the other side of it, I stifle a cry of pain, and as I stumble, my knees buckle a little bit. Like I'm definitely a little bit weaker, but keep upright for now. What does that actually like? What's the damage look like on my skin and stuff?
You can essentially see that the flesh is some of it at the surface level has actually began to like just slough off, exposing some of the muscle underneath.
Geez, I might not stifle that cry of pain. That sounds like it hurts a lot, unless the nerves like get destroyed or something. Not gonna actually scream because I don't know what the walls are like in the house I'm in right now. But
also,
imagine that I do.
I think the viewers would appreciate not screams.
Yeah.
But you're able
to
pull your foot free. They're not particularly strong. And you can see that your leg's kind of fucked up.
Imagine the slurping sound of pulling my foot out of the goop is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
You know what? I'll start the pain or continue the pain.
Actually, let myself kind of like drop to a knee on the other side.
It's cool, guys. I got this. I'm gonna preemptively search this because I don't got this.
Well,
I don't got this.
You don't have to preemptively search. You can choose after you roll.
I have no bonus.
I had an idea.
What?
You rolled. Go.
That's fair. I rolled. I got a 5.
Did I take any regular damage, by the way, or just the stat stuff?
Just the stats.
Okay.
I'm guessing I need a fortitude save, huh?
Yes.
I know I don't have to preemptively search, but I'm going to because it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
23.
Okay. Yeah, the same thing. You actually land both feet in it, on the edge of it, but you quickly pull yourself out of it, and you can feel like this tingling sensation on your legs and stuff, but you're not harmed by it.
Okay. That is weird.
Yep.
Rhea, would you like me to throw you across from the top of the ramp?
Rhea is going to try and get a running start and jump, which is +2 on the acrobatics.
Okay.
So that's a no.
It dice me then. There we go. Oh, come on.
Holy shit.
Oh, no.
Would you like to search?
Yes.
We are just a clown fiesta, bro.
We're awful at
for the listeners at home, that was
Ray
a
is
1.
really good at it, but not.
1 for 9, plus another 1 for a 10. Well,
how hard was
this is the person who's good at it.
I can now confirm 10 is not the DC.
Oh, well, not the acrobatics at least.
As the 1 in the failing causes you to end up, your foot catches on the shadowy edge that you couldn't quite see properly of the ramp, and you drop down into the center of one of these puddles as these weird gooey hands start wrapping around you. Give me the fortitude save.
Oh, well.
The DC is going to be higher because you are fucking in it.
Hey, last time we made fortitude saves, we became were creatures. Do you think we'll become were oozes?
No, please no.
I think there's an Oozemorph template somewhere.
There's
Gotta
actually
collect
a race called Squall.
Well, Flip flop, I guess.
Well, that fucking
Points
20. So you fucking panicking managed to rip yourself free of the thing and scurry across it. And get out of it before it can like fully sink in. And similarly, you have this like tingling, burning sensation across like your hands and legs. But you fucking get out unscathed.
Urstar, would you like me to throw you across?
All right, give me one moment. I'm still looking at something.
Okay.
Rhea just lets out a long string of curses that she's like, oh, fuck.
So what we've learned is that jumping, not our strong suit.
Yeah. Those of you that were not damaged, the clothing that touched it has blackened a bit.
Neat.
But this is a great expedition.
I wonder if it might have been easier to fight them.
Yeah.
For some of you, probably. For me, not so much.
That's fair.
I didn't prepare anything that was hostile today.
I mean, the hope is that they're not particularly like high level problems, and that we just take care of them with a spell or two.
Did you prepare anything restorative?
Heal wounds. I can't do ability damage.
I didn't.
That's not even in my wheelhouse.
We haven't had a long rest since last session, so I'm still rocking some basic shit.
Oh no.
Okay. Hairstyle's just kind of distracted and wasn't really paying attention to you till you notice he's rummaging through his pack and just kind of there's a clink of a bottle here and a clink of a vial there, and you see he's just doing something.
Ursula, you good over there? Good, bud? We have oozes approaching us. You said there's a potential elemental. I just want to make sure that you.
You make that craft and roll whenever you're ready.
Okay. So that's that times that, and if I divide that by that, I get 5 times the result.
Okay, yeah, you make it.
37 for folks at home.
Okay, so, yeah, it's a 37 on a craft alchemy check. For the folks at home, I was trying to look up what I could do to actually craft an alchemical item, and with some ways of one, my mythic abilities, and two, my class abilities of being an investigator. Depending on how well I roll, I could potentially make certain items instantaneously.
Okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, you kind of sat there. You're talking to Earthstyle. He's really not really paying attention to you. Like I said, you hear him clinking with stuff. He's pulling out some vials, a couple bottles. All of a sudden, he's just like, "Aha! I did it!
Did what?
I have some alkali for these oozes." And why is everyone in pain?
Because everyone tried to jump over the oozes and have failed. I was going to throw you across.
I didn't know you were doing that. I say through gritted teeth in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, I only made one for the moment. I don't know how much more I can make. But that does look painful. Anyways, don't have to worry about throwing me. I'm a little bit more lithe than that. I'm surprised Veta didn't take the throwing option.
I didn't get the chance to offer.
Offered.
Because I thought maybe you just had poor aim if she hurt like that.
As you all are standing there chatting, one of the oozes starts moving towards those of you that have already jumped over.
I'm going to go ahead and jump across our style, unless that thing can do something about the oozes now.
I'll go ahead and toss it.
Make the attack roll. Get above a 5, please.
Please.
It's a touch attack too. So
get above a 5. You just need to get it in the square that they exist in. Okay, good.
Does a 16 touch even hit it directly?
Yeah, it does. Okay. Very easy to hit. This concoction goes flying. You see it actually go into the puddle. You don't hear the glass shatter until like 2 seconds later.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing happens.
Oh.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and jump. I'm taking a running start. I'm over this.
Okay.
Tilka's over it.
We'll see if you actually get over it.
Running start gives me a +2, right?
Yep.
Cool. I'm only at a -3. I'm going to surge.
Oh,
not 12D zeros.
Yeah.
No chance.
Motherfucker.
Cool. Give me a
We are
save.
just a bunch of chuckle fucks.
I mean, it's me rolling dice.
8, everybody.
Yeah.
So, what did you say, Brandon?
Yep.
We are the chucklest of fucks, in fact.
Oh, okay. Just don't roll a 1, Brandon. That's kind of all I ask. It's, it's not a hard thing to do.
Please roll 1, by all means.
17. I have a +10.
Yeah, so similarly, you land in the one that was starting to move. And you splash on the edge of it, but you manage to pull your foot out, and you can see where the boot of your plate began to like blacken a bit from contact with this thing. It's a little the metal of the plate is actually like kind of warped. Fuck me. First off,
gotta jump back over it.
Now,
Erstyle notices that there is no result, and
yeah.
Okay, that didn't work like I anticipated. So this is not as an ooze I expect. I'm going to do a running jump and jump across the thing.
Acrobatics.
All right. Can any one of us succeed? Is the question.
Well, I do have acrobatics, but let's see if I roll a 1.
Yeah, I mean, Rhea has acrobatics too, but
can I? I'm trying to double check real quick. Do I have the ability to use my inspiration on this?
Inspired acrobatics.
It's a free action. You can spend one use of inspiration to add a d6. This choice. Okay. So I can, but I'll have to spend a point of inspiration instead of normal. I think I'm running low on mythic surges.
We have 7.
Oh, we have 7? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
You have double your tier +3.
Okay. So then I would. So I have 4 mythic surges left. I'll go ahead and just use one preemptively. Or I'll spend one so I can actually have an extra d6 on this on top of that. So, this potentially could be great. It could also just really, really suck. It really, really sucked.
It's 13, folks.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We are all just the actual worst at this.
I need a fortitude save.
That'd be a DC 15 with a running start. I forgot the +2 for that.
No, 15. Okay, you actually clear it.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Anti-Jover.
Party. The time you guys were almost bested by 5 foot every other round oozes. They do radiation damage.
I'm going to the elevator. I'm over this.
I might need a bit of assistance. At least, I don't know if my movements mechanically changed, but I do know that there were words about flesh sloughing off my legs. So
yes, we'll say thematically you have a limp right now. If a situation were to demand it, you could push through the pain, but casually walking, you're at a limp.
Sounds good.
Style will help you move along.
Okay, it sounds like I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I will do a heal check on them to see if they're poisoned.
Let's wait until we're going up the elevator.
That doesn't matter because I can do that while we're walking. But I want to do a heal check.
As you all are walking away, the oozes continue to very slowly trail after you. It does not take long for you to leave them behind.
That's not true. I only get a DC 10 on my heal check. I don't think
that sure looks fucked, whatever that is.
That is a bunch of fuck.
Yeah, it's not acidic. The fucking base solution didn't work. So it's not acid, but whatever it is, it's gnarly. You all get on the elevator and you start making your way back up. It's smoother going back up than the initial start coming down. But you get to the top after about 20 minutes going up the elevator without any problems.
Yeah.
That wasn't fun.
No, it was not.
That sucked.
It's still not fun. Well, if Castien was of a species that was originally meant to be a repository of information, maybe he knows something about this.
Angela
Couldn't tell us what to do.
So, I could make us some water. I could then make that water into not water.
Wait, what do you make it into?
Beer, wine, or mead.
Oh.
Ooh.
Or I could make you stay up for 8 hours and it feel like you slept.
Oh. Is that drug that Aristotle was talking about earlier?
No, this is magic. I don't. Well, that drug might be magic. I don't know. I don't know what. Shrug.
I've never got in contact with it. Just know that it existed and some of its effects, and it equated to magical cocaine.
Magical cocaine.
Okay. Translation: I took create water, enhance water, and night watch.
Yeah. Is that spell called enhance water? Because that would be so funny.
It is called enhance water.
Wow.
Transform water into alcoholic beverage, typically ale, beer, mead, or wine. And depending on how polluted the water is, it adds more flavor. But enough about making dirty wine.
So,
yeah.
Are you going to Castien or what are you doing?
Yeah, I assume we're going to Castien.
Okay.
What are the effects of everyone as we make our way to Castien?
What are the effects of everyone? What?
One of our party members is currently poisoned. Yes.
I mean, you don't know. Doesn't look like poison. Like, it looks like skin fell off of her leg. At least the surface layers did.
Oh no.
Yeah. Her hoof is kind of like, doesn't look great. It's mostly fine, but it's kind of discolored. And surface layer skin where it was submerged in the ooze came off. You can like actually see muscle.
Aside from the pain, I'm a little bit worried about keeping that clean.
We'll certainly look over it.
I want them to do first aid.
Okay, roll it.
Am I the only one that failed that fortitude save, by the way?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's just one of
I got lucky, so.
Yeah.
Where is out of the 23 to provide first aid?
You use some basic disinfectant you have, some basic wraps. Hurts like a motherfucker for Leona, but it's safe from infection.
I'll take what I can get.
So pressing on to Castien.
Yep.
Okay. So
Yeah.
after taking a brief moment to take care of Leona, you will make your way back to Castien with this honking diamond in tow. And when you eventually get back to Castien's main body, tree, terminal thing, the display lights up once more in his bark, and words come across it again as before. I see you were successful.
A little interesting times down there, but yes.
A little bit worse for wear, but we did get the gem. It seems like the people who were hit by the initial radiation wave, at least in the closest proximity, were transmuted into some sort of radioactive oozes. And they're not fast, but that didn't really help me fall into one trying to get over it. Well, a few of us fell into it, but I think I was in it for a little bit longer than the others.
Where can I stick this thing?
The display will show kind of like a pathway of like some hallways and stuff, and indicates a particular room down a set of hallways.
I will start following.
There is a chamber that will have a station where it can be put into place to be worked on.
Okay.
Castien,
Yes.
do you have any facilities for medical aid?
Technically, yes. Although our stocks are, shall I say, rather depleted.
That's perfectly fine. I just would like to, seeing as people are a little bit hurt, I would like a little bit nicer facilities to work with versus just dirt and spit.
There are a few remaining health potions. How safe they are for consumption, I cannot say. There is some basic disinfectants and other wraps and basics available as well. But the more advanced things were depleted in an effort to cure the population.
That's understandable. Oh, Castien,
Yes.
do you have any processes or ways to detect for certain ailments like disease or poison?
Yes.
Can you verify any of that with the rest of my group?
Yes. From what I can tell, Leona has suffered an amount of radiation exposure, not an immediately lethal dosage.
Ah.
You said not immediately lethal, so there could be lasting effects beyond the current damage.
Yes, assuming rest does not aid you in your recovery, and well, considering potential resilience of one's body, you could hypothetically continue to deteriorate over time.
I see.
Yep. We're gonna get you over into the medical area. Come, Liana. We're going.
On it.
Do.
Yeah.
So we think that I wonder where the radiation came from. Do golems usually do waves like that?
Radiation is a new concept to you.
Yeah.
As far as we care, things are just melting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The medical wing is it's a short walk down a couple hallways. It's mostly a bunch of beds, some wooden cabinets with picked over supplies, a couple small health potions that definitely look like they've seen better days. You can see there is some of it is settled in the bottom, and it's looking a little clear at the top. You shake it a little, and you can see some of the components within the potion kind of drifting.
That is certainly an aged vintage.
Yeah.
Oh, as an investigator, I have the capability of using a craft alchemy check on potions.
Yeah.
Can I at least verify what level of healing potion this is?
Yeah, it is a basic cure light wounds.
Oh, okay. Basic cure light wounds. Cool. We have a couple of these.
Let's do this. Roll 1d10. Okay. Well, we'll say there are 3 of those.
Okay.
I don't think I want to drink that.
Ice.
Well, they're still fine. They're still legitimately fine. They're just a little.
I'm not sure I want my potion to be separated.
It's a little grainy, but it is still viable.
A gritty potion.
Would you like your health potion with or without pulp?
Oh God.
Oh.
Jeez, pulp is fine, but not like that.
It's pulp and also fizzy.
Man, that'd be a weird texture.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful.
I've never had anything carbonated that had pulp in it.
In any case, get yourself situated on a bed, Liana. We're gonna work on this poison.
All right. I'll lower myself onto one of them.
Do. Where's my investigator stuff? Poison lore.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Rules is written. Radiation counts as a poison.
Radiation counts as a poison. Okay.
I, for one, find that fucking stupid. But here's what I will say. If you're using something magical that can help cure poison, it will give her a bonus on her fortitude saves.
That's fair.
Okay. That's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
But I don't actually have any hit point damage. So Cure Light Wounds will not do anything.
Yeah, that's ways like I'm kind of not able to really do anything.
It might restore the flesh on my leg, maybe.
But that might just fall back off with the radiation damage.
No. That's a fluff thing. That's not a mechanic thing.
Yeah.
Because how else do you really explain radiation damage outside of you now have a tumor?
In fairness, radiation does do that. Like you can one time somebody got like so much radiation in their hand that just the cells could not divide anymore. They tried to transplant fingers onto it and they just fell off.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That being said, lesser restoration isn't going to help you.
No, it is not. Well, it'll help with the ability.
It will help with the strength damage.
Yeah, I have damage and drain, so.
Yeah, if
it will not help with drain.
Yeah, it's the drain that
will have to be done by long rest.
Drain we need restoration for.
Yes, so we actually have to go through the natural processes.
Yeah.
Versus.
Does drain come back with type at all, or is that just?
I think that's just damage.
It's only damage.
Should be damage.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it has.
I think we got to get home and get to a cleric.
Except that they're all dead.
I mean, they're probably not all of them.
Well, at least the highest level one who had the highest chances of knowing that magic is dead.
Well,
you don't know.
Divine casters, they can prepare it, but she might have already had it on hand.
You don't know how many clerics survived.
Yeah, I think
or are high enough level to actually perform that magic.
Yeah, I think it's a 4th level spell. Like that's rough.
Anyways, is there some alchemist help with poison shit that you can do, Ollie, to help with this? Or is that outside the scope of what you can do?
That is probably out of the scope of what I can currently do.
Okay.
If you
want to, you can try to convince her to drink a health potion to restore the flesh.
No, because I'm actually just gonna have her drink a lesser restoration potion just to help get rid of that strength damage.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna ask you this: as an alchemist who made this, assuming Liana, you want to drink the lesser restoration potion?
Yeah, and like I'll drink the healing potion with enough assurance. I'm just like, I don't know if those are still viable. So, they might be poisonous.
What do you want your potion to taste like? Because you're the one that made it.
I am the one that it tastes.
That's true.
You can choose to flavor your potions if you want.
It tastes like lemon lime.
Lemon lime.
Lemon lime. Okay.
It tastes like lemon lime.
Lesser restoration is Sprite confirmed.
Is it carbonated?
Literally, no. This one is not carbonated.
Oh, it's
I
flat.
can potentially do that in the future.
Okay.
It's lemon lime water.
Yeah, it feels a little better. I'm feeling change on my leg though, and I definitely still feel a bit just I don't know, kind of nauseous, sort of.
Yeah.
Frail?
Well,
yeah. You're probably going to be feeling like just generally sick and physically weak.
Yeah.
Well, that's well, we're gonna take some time to work on it, but if we're going to be hanging out here and working on Castien, if you're not working on anything that's necessary for rebuilding Castien or for helping Castien get back up and running, you should be resting. Because this does not look. This does not wholly look like anything I have seen in any books or spoken with any of the surgeons in ADAX.
It's new to me too, to be honest.
So it's been a little bit. You also walked. I will change out your wrappings just to make sure it doesn't get any infections.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Tilk, you managed to find the room that you were directed to and stash the crystal. There is like this series of like arms with like clasps over like what looks like a workbench. And you're able to pretty easily secure it within the clasps. They look a little thin, but they take its weight, no problem.
Neat.
And you make your way back to, well, at least I'm assuming Sveta and Rhea are still hanging out in the main chamber.
Yeah.
Next to Castien. Or Castien Central, or however you want to refer to it, to the tree.
In Central.
Yeah. Central Dogma? I mean, what? And so Tilk comes back.
So
when you come back, Tilk, obviously the other two are gone.
Where'd the other two go?
To go check out Liana's leg. See if there's anything that our resident investigator can do.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, I can only really heal flesh wounds. I can't really do anything about feeling ill or what have you.
Well,
I mean, my flesh is still wounded.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can ask the ship here if there's any way to, I don't know, if they know any good ways to heal them or whatever that thing was. If there's any dangers we need to take in account for that. I don't know.
Nothing that I can do.
Okay.
And if you are unaware of, well, if you have no experience with radiation, then chances are it is beyond your abilities. There are some magics that can alleviate the side effects of exposure. But from my assessment of you all, those are beyond your capabilities.
Well, at least that's accurate.
I would suggest prioritizing the repairs so that we can potentially find somebody who has the requisite magical knowledge, just in case, or her natural immune system is not sufficient.
Well, at this point, our next objective is the fuel, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You should be able to find what was underway in the building that was next door to the building where you found what remained of the captain. There should be a lab in there that had what had been made up to that point.
Ah, a lab. Well, Ersta will be happy to hear about that.
Is there anything we should be concerned about in the lab? Any dangerous things we should look out for, etc.?
Horrors beyond elven comprehension.
God
That was a joke.
Hard to tell sometimes around here.
Yeah.
I was trying to lighten the mood. You seem sour after your adventure.
There's a lot going on.
To be fair, that's the most pleasant adventure that going down there and having our friend nearly have their leg melted off. That's on the uphill.
Yeah.
From what you've told me, it does sound less severe. But no, there shouldn't be no resistance in the lab. As I've said before, there is nobody alive in the town.
And there's nothing we can accidentally poke to just explode in our face or whatever.
I would strongly recommend against using any volatile elements such as acid or fire while within the lab.
Noted.
Or lightning.
I will. Oh, I don't have anything to do with that.
I don't even do lightning.
But I think it might be best for us to try to rest after our little expose. That's too big of a word. After our little misadventure.
Very well.
Yeah.
I would offer the beds in here, but sleeping on a slope probably wouldn't be very comfortable.
I won't be sleeping. It's fine.
Self.
Can you cast that thing that lets you not sleep twice?
I only have one spell slot left, so no.
Oh.
Thanks, Hedger.
Damn, yeah, I was about to say that.
Well, if I'm correct, I've had to cast Create Water twice. So this is my last slot currently.
Okay.
Paladin spell slots.
Yup.
It's fine. They're more potent in this than they are in the competitor's version of the game.
That's good.
So, wanting to rest. You'll eventually reconvene. Do you want to stay on the ship? Do you want to go back into town and find a house or whatever to sleep in? Or what do you want to do? Because while the ship is at an angle, you can find beds to rest in. You know, you can figure it out if you want to sleep in the ship.
I'd be able to put something under one end of a bed to like make it level. If there's anything we can find.
I feel like if it closed the door, the ship is the safest place that we could be.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, if there are any other objects we could find to like prop the beds up with, I think that would be good. Or just like saw off some of the legs of the beds, but I mean, so that to lower an end of it. But it's probably
going to be the easier thing to do because there's not like a lot of supplies on the ship.
Yeah.
But you can also just like finagle things where you could also like you could go nesting style and grab like a bunch of blankets and stuff and pillows and effectively find like a corner of a room at the slope and just make a padded nest sort of deal. Just
or is that like the bottom edge?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like you're pretty comfortable with enough cushioning. So I mean, I'll do that. It's easier to regardless. The ship is moving too.
Yeah. Regardless, you all are able to figure something out. Y'all are mythically clever.
Yeah.
For something as simple as this.
Before we do sleep, do you have any healing spells ready?
I do.
I think my recovery would be at least a little more comfortable with all of my skin.
Yeah, I can. I've got a hex loaded.
Ah, perfect.
I have a hex loaded. Plus, it's healing hex. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's me with the slumber one. Just like
I also have 2 cure light wounds prepared today because I thought it would be a more taking care of people day. Turns out it was, but I can't do it as well.
Not in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will healing hex Liana to cure light wounds her.
Okay.
Get her leg a little more comfy.
Yeah, the flesh stitches itself. It looks a little discolored, but yeah, at least the skin is back.
Well, that's a pretty big improvement.
Yeah.
As the kids call a notable step up.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Well,
I shall cast my keep watch spell when everyone lays down for bed.
Let's do this. So next morning, because nothing goes down over the night.
Yeah.
Things are quiet. And next morning, I need a fortitude save from Liana.
Okay.
And before we really do this, or before we go into that, I would like to provide long-term care for Liana.
Okay.
So let's see. And I also remember if long-term care also provides extra bonuses.
It doesn't confer any bonuses, just you help heal their ability damage.
But it's only damage, it's not drain. Damn it.
Yeah, so like her strength damage will come back.
Well, you already gave her a lesser restoration for the strength damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So unless you can give her a bonus to fortitude, it's not going to do much.
Yeah.
I cast guidance.
Die.
Yeah, there's nothing I can really do then.
Yeah. All right. A fortitude save.
Yeah.
Good luck, Liana.
Hey, that's pretty good. Just in case, I'm gonna surge that.
Okay.
I don't know what the DC is. Hopefully, it's less than 24. So I got a 19 on the die.
DC 12. I beat it with 23.
A 24 does pass the save.
Oh, goody.
Don't you price this right me. Don't you pause right before the reveal. We don't have commercials, Zemian.
Yes. We'll tell you after the break.
In the interest of, we do want to be kind of keeping this session short. And there's not really danger going forward.
I mean, if you want, I can also just stick at the ship to work on the crystal, and everyone else can go do a thing.
Well, there really is no danger.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to go explore the lab, it would make sense that I do that. But what were you going to say?
The lab is a little bit of a grandiose of a term. It is a building that has the bare minimum supplies needed to make this wonder fuel, as it was put. However, there is a barrel that is half full, filled with what seems to be this Ezofir.
Interesting.
Looking inside the barrel, you see this Ezofir. It is like a dark blue liquid at the surface, but it quickly becomes black with depth. And there is almost like sparkling starlight inside of it.
Interesting.
And, opening the barrel to look at it, you are hit by this very strong smell that is, you're not even sure how to describe it, but it just feels like it crawls up your nose and lingers there. And it's on one hand, it smells bad, but on the other hand, it's weird enough that you want to keep sniffing it. It's really strange.
That's like me and car oil and stuff like that.
Yeah. And you're able to gather up this barrel and bring it back to the ship, and Castien is able to walk you through step by step how to go about this. Essentially, the way this works is people have to pour spell slots into this.
Okay.
You have to get another barrel, but spell slots have to be poured into it while you are doing this alchemical preparation effectively. And it takes a lot of time. This is something that's going to take a couple weeks. Because you are
crafting, make a picnic.
It's not about the crafting. It's about the magic. You are taking as much mana as you can and are compressing it effectively and then putting it down into a liquid form.
Okay.
And you have to take your time with the crafting portions of it because it is highly unstable until you are finished. Shaking it too much could cause it to explode.
Oh, so we're making magic.
It's like nitroglycerin. It's nitroglycerin.
It's like nitroglycerin if it was a fuel source. It's nitroglycerin for your car, but instead of your car, it's an interdimensional spaceship.
Something, and paper clips.
Yeah, but you're condensing raw magical power into a very tight space, effectively.
All this cosmic power.
Yeah. So while that is happening over the next couple weeks, Cinder, I need another fortitude save for the next day after the day you just woke up on.
Damn it! I was hoping I was good.
No, it's probably 2 or 3 consecutive saves.
Yeah, I know some things are like that.
Surge.
Surge. Okay, I got an 18.
18?
Yeah.
Passes.
Oh, okay.
And while you don't feel as well as you had a couple days of rest, you are feeling kind of better. Obviously, the constitution drain still lingers.
Yeah,
but
I'm not getting worse.
At the very least, you've kind of stabilized. The nausea kind of comes and goes from time to time. The weakness kind of comes and goes from time to time, but otherwise, you're not getting worse. You've shaken off the effect of radiation sickness.
That's good.
And you get to work on the diamond. What you end up having to do is you end up having to shave this thing down to the size of a softball.
Oh man,
Gee, we got that big ass diamond, and we got to shave it down.
It was the closest one they could find. That was also big enough to actually fit that size.
Well, it had to be big in. It was large enough in its shorter dimensions.
Yeah.
Already, so am I able to carve the rest of it off in chunks so we've got a lot of diamond left over?
Yes.
We can also have the diamond dust for other things in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Restoration.
Does any of us actually learn that? I don't know if it's all valid.
I assume. I think
I will get back to you on just how much like usable diamond you'll have left over when it's all said and done.
I assume
for
it's
next
like
session.
diamond chunks and then like dust from the shaving.
Yeah, there'll be a lot. But the first step, because there are tools available, sharp things that can surprisingly like actually cut diamonds, stuff like that, but they're like scalpels, not really suited for fighting with and stuff. They are like very fine tools.
Are they like made of wood like Castien is, or
yes.
Interesting.
They have elvish runes carved into them and everything. They do have a magical aura. And then Castien gives you very explicit instructions, like to the millimeter. Carve this at this point. You know, make this rune this many millimeters long. Make sure there is like a flare on the end, like serifs. Like they very, very detailed, very specific. It takes a long time to work on this.
I assume I'm basically doing this for like a similar amount of time as the
This is essentially you're doing this 12 hours a day for weeks.
Oh man, I'm gonna be so
because Castien makes the point of like if it is slightly off, it may not function.
Yeah. And like
it's very
we have more diamond, but I'd prefer not to start it.
I mean, if diamond's big enough, could you theoretically make 2 like cores?
With the shape that it was, no.
Okay.
Not to get the perfectly round shape. No.
Having a spare would have been great.
Yeah.
Is the previous one usable as more diamond chunks, by the way? For spell components and stuff?
Potentially.
Okay. I don't know if it was like altered in its creation or damaged or not. So
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
When it's all said and done, you all live effectively off of berries and spawned water, and occasionally water turned into alcohol and more berries.
And
unless you attempt to eat the wildlife for a month.
And I really liked these berries when we first started eating them, but now like
what?
No, I don't want more berries.
What I'm hearing is we've
sound.
Go ahead.
Wait, go ahead. Sorry.
What I'm hearing is we have a lot of seeds saved up.
Yes,
that's true.
You can have a amount of seeds.
I was going to sit here and say, Aristyle would actually want to try seeing which of the wildlife is edible.
So it does seem like all of it is edible. It's more about how much effort are you willing to put into it. The giant crabs.
I bet those are
probably a challenge to hunt. You're not really going to pluck an arrow into it and then it's going to keel over and die like a deer would.
You gotta hunt them with like a fucking hammer and chisel, but like really big.
Yeah. They're fucking work to hunt. However, the isopods, pretty easy to catch. They're not super fast. They are a little wriggly. You got to be careful not to like let your fingers get pinched in their shells. But the giant isopods, yeah, I mean, you just sit and wait, like maybe leave out a little bait for them or whatever, and you can just fucking grab them. They are edible. They taste like a mix between lobster and crab.
The Rain Crown Court doesn't want you to know, but the giant isopods are free. You can take them.
God.
I have 30 in my basement right now.
Just scuttling around all over the place. Oh man, if somebody makes those, I'll be so happy.
Yeah,
especially if it tastes like lobster and crab. That sounds pretty.
And their shells can also be decent add-ons for additional flavoring for stews.
That's kind of cool.
How tough is the isopod shell?
I mean, it's fairly tough, but it's like no harder than a lobster shell, really. Like the back plate is probably the hardest part of it. But even then, it's like, especially after cooking, I mean, you can with enough strength crack it. You know, maybe Sveta or Liana may not be able to barehanded crack it, not without considerable effort and leverage, but like
hurt our hands in the process when it does crack.
You know, you got a bonus to strength. Yeah, you can fairly easily crack it without too much effort.
Okay. Now,
as long as you're being smart about it, obviously.
True. Now, what if I want to hunt a crab?
I mean, you can. It would just be a group activity thing. Doing it by yourself, unless you were like willing to like potentially destroy some of the meat inside, it would be a little challenging by yourself just because they're fucking big. Like their size huge. Or sorry, size large.
Oh man, I was gonna say. I mean, that's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, out of character wise, I'm wanting to try and hunt the crabs. Because depending on how tough the exterior of the crab shells are, that could potentially be primitive armor for anyone who needs it.
I mean, yeah,
we're most around now.
Yeah, you could do it. Especially if your goal is to like try to preserve as much of the shell as possible to potentially work it into armor. You would definitely like want to make a coordinated effort with the rest of the group. So as long as the rest of the group are willing to help you do it, you can catch a couple crabs during your time here.
Would that be okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you need
I
me
suppose...
really badly, there is only apparatus gem.
That's fair.
Yeah, because y'all are gonna finish before she finishes. Hers takes longer.
Yeah.
To do what she's doing. So you'll probably finish like about a week, maybe a week and a half before she's done. Okay. Or no, you'd be finished like, because I forgot the fucking months are longer. You'd be done like 2 weeks before she was done.
Okay. Is Castien able to like communicate with me in this room? I assume I didn't have to like bring it into okay.
Yes. The wooden walls, you're not sure how it works, but the wooden walls in different parts kind of go transparent and you get that same screen again.
Okay. Is Castien always communicating with text or is there also sound?
So far, it's only been with text.
Okay.
So, I'm pretty sure I can rope Pilk into helping get crabs.
Yeah. You can get a couple crabs. You can easily harvest some of the shells to potentially do some armor shenanigans with.
Like I say, I can also make weapons with their pincers and whatnot, so.
Yeah.
Make gauntlets that just are the claws.
I mean, depending on what they have, I can also even make a bow out of it, or arrows.
You're just gonna Dark Souls this fucking crab.
Look, I have now my weapons. I have craft weapons, armor, bows, and alchemy. I am going to sit here and craft something at some point.
I get ya.
Here's what I'll say. I'm gonna say you got like 4 crabs worth of material.
Okay.
Their crab meat, pretty tough. Also fairly tasty. Really good for a crab stew, where you can really let it slow cook and soften up.
Crab ragu.
Yeah. That said, I'm gonna say you have like those 4 big crabs worth of carapace to use. At some point outside of session, we will talk about what all you want to craft. Because armor and weapons aren't going to come up for the rest of the session as something relevant, so we don't need to spend time doing that right now. End of the month. Liana, you finish this gem.
Yeah.
And Castien directs you to one of the central chambers on the ship, which turns out to be a chamber that, as far as you can tell, very likely lines up with being directly underneath where what you would guess Castien's core is, the tree. Because when you go in there, you can see like there are roots in the ceiling, and there are roots coming down into this like central pillar. And this central pillar also has like roots running to other wooden shapes and bits and stuff you're not really sure how to describe. It's like almost like a engine room made out of wood. And like the walls are covered in runes that are glowing blue in Elven script. And several other like wooden structures similarly covered in all these different runes and everything. And some of the runes flicker, others are blinking. Some just stay constantly on. Some are dark. It's very strange. But this central pillar, the wood kind of pulls open, and you can see that there are roots wrapped around a cracked softball-shaped diamond that is, for all intents and purposes, looks like an exact replica of what you have, aside from the crack.
And this crack happened in the attack, right?
Huh?
Oh, I was asking Castien. You said this crack happened in the attack that caused you to need to land.
Correct.
How did that happen?
It was some magical attack.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
But you can easily reach in. Like, you can tell it is in there very snug. Like, there's no way it can move around in there. But when you grab it and begin to pull, the roots release it slightly. And when it comes out, all of the runes in the room go out.
Okay. I will, remembering the angle that this one was at based on the symbols on it. Unless Castien had more instructions, but I assume Castien is inactive while that's not in.
Correct. This entire room could be described as off.
Yeah. I will replace it with the new one, trying to match the angle that the other one was at as near as I can, just in case that's needed.
Yeah. It fits in. The roots kind of almost like instinctually tighten around it. And then all the runes in the room slowly begin to light up one by one. And a lot of the runes that were dark, even when the old crystal was in, are now lit up or blinking and flashing and doing other things.
What's the
and Castien's screen flickers for a moment. There's kind of like a ... and then you do hear a somewhat masculine voice. Ah, that's better.
Welcome back. It looks and sounds like the new one works.
Yes. I am going to take a couple hours to run diagnostics and check all of my systems, but that should fix all of the major problems. The communications relay should probably be fixed at some point, but, well, there's nobody to come save anymore, so it's not a pressing issue.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
A project for the future, then.
Now that everything is safely booted up, we are ready to attach the fuel.
All right. I'll go find the others. It sounded like that was ready quite a while ago.
Yes. However, it would have been explained for safety reasons. Do not hook it up until safe installation of the new gem was done.
Yeah, they don't want the ship exploding.
Yeah, just blow off a chunk of the ship. Like,
well,
diagnostic.
if installing it went wrong in some way and it caused a reaction
surge or something
with the fuel, it could be really bad.
Yeah.
Nuclear explosion.
But the rest of you get together. You bring in the 2 barrels of the Isosphere, and you go to what seems to be a kind of like a general engine room of a type, you guess. There's like a bunch of like pumps made of like leather and wood and stuff. And similarly, walls and like pipes and everything lined with more of these elven runes. And there are spots where you can hook these barrels into this contraption. And, you do it carefully. It's not a risk of exploding if you shake it now that it's stable. But you're able to hook it up. The diagnostics are ran. And Castien effectively gives you all the green light. Everything seems to be working.
All right.
Whenever you all are ready to depart, we can attempt takeoff.
I think this calls for a celebration.
Well, I don't know. I've always heard it's not good to drink and drive a carriage before. I assume the same applies to
Yeah, but the carriage in this case is sapient and can drive itself.
That does help.
In fairness, I don't think we're driving it, period. Like Castien, I don't even understand his mechanism.
Castien is don't worry, I am a Tesla.
Oh no.
Nope, we're going to die.
Now I'm worried.
And then Castien immediately bursts into flames.
Yeah.
I was to say, spontaneously combusts.
Yeah. Somehow cut my hand on the edges, just like suddenly.
All the windows shatter.
The angle that that Cassian's sitting at is actually just how he's built.
That said, Tilk.
Yes.
You wanna make some water for me?
I can.
Gonna enhance it too.
Mine is
boy.
not technically that.
I will make 2 gallons of water.
And I will tears to wine it. Unlike enhanced water, tears to wine, when you drink it, you get an enhancement bonus to your intelligence and wisdom checks.
Oh, that's really nice.
It says that it makes you become sharp-witted and clear-minded. Sveta will make sure everybody has cups and take a dunk into the receptacle that has this new. It's gonna be mead, I think.
I do like mead. Mead's pretty good.
Just as a sort of callback to Violet Maple.
Yeah.
To us, to repairing an ancient machine beyond knowing, and to beating death. I don't think a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
I know you are try to be as responsible as you can, Tilk, but don't take it too hard. We've gone through a lot, and I wouldn't rather be with anyone else right now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, same.
Just don't bury yourself too hard.
We're beyond that. I've been staying up for the past month straight.
I know.
I have not slept.
I know. Please
yeah,
do.
I guess you've been alone with your thoughts for a long time.
A lot to think about.
Actually, other than the fuel, is there anything you require to eat or drink or anything, Castien? I know you're alive, so. Oh, okay.
I am self-sustaining so long as I have some amount of power.
Oh, cool. I assume it would risk a negative reaction if some of this meat were poured into the fuel receptacle.
That is certainly not recommended.
It's magical mead, so
that would void the warranty.
Oh no!
All the more reason to not.
If Cassian's still under warranty, that's a long ass warranty.
If It's one of those for life. They didn't really intend for him to live.
Oh God.
I'm glad you don't have planned obsolescence, guys.
No shit.
Yeah.
But when we're all ready, can shove off and make sure that Aparo is still standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to find our way there, I suppose.
I mean, once we get a line of sight on the shore and continent, we might be able to figure it out more easily.
That's true.
Castien, I suppose this might sound stupid, but like, do you have like a compass? Like, do you have a way of telling north?
Yes.
Okay, so as long as we head west, we'll eventually hit the water, and then we can figure out whether to go north or south.
Without much warning, you actually see traces of blue light pass through some parts of the wood grain in the walls and floor and ceiling. The inner chamber kind of like lights up in the main hall, and you can see the various like walkways above and everything. And you can see at the far end of the ship of this main chamber, you can see like windows and such. That they're like technically opening. There was a layer of bark defending them from the outside, but now it is pulled back, creating viewports. And you hear you feel a hum before anything else. There is a subtle vibration that passes through the ship and thus through you. And then you hear a whom, whum. And you can feel a very subtle lifting sensation. And you have to catch yourselves for a moment as the floor actually evens out for the first time in the month you've been here. The floor is
at an angle for so long.
Yeah,
I have barely left the ship, if at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Black ground's gonna feel so weird to you.
Yeah.
I get my land legs back.
Beyond those initial sounds, everything is silent. And you can't even tell if there's a motion happening. But looking out the viewport, you can see you are moving up. Just straight up. And after a few moments, you can hear the sound of scraping branches rubbing against the outside of the ship as it rises. And you can see those branches outside the viewport window. You can see movement in the branches going away, flying things, gliding things. As you go higher and higher up, you see some things aren't necessarily afraid, they're more curious. Your characters wouldn't recognize them, but very killer whale looking things with green and brown patterning that glide through the air with great ease, kind of come by the viewport window and look inside.
We've got like sky whales.
You
a lot more
continue going up. You see, you think what might be drakes, the small cousins to dragons in the bows that watch with a cautious eye as you drift by. You go higher and higher yet. And you start seeing more just birds, but other things that would look like fish, but swim through the air with no problem. You even see sharks that kind of blend in with the trees. And they kind of scatter off at the side of the ship.
Castien, were all of these creatures native to your home plane?
No.
Huh. Well, I suppose it has been a long time since the environment was altered by the trees.
As you go higher and higher, the darkness begins to turn gray and brightens until finally the ship emerges from the tree line.
Oh God, natural light.
And there is, for the first time in a long time, sunlight. And it almost feels punishingly bright.
Yeah.
And the windows kind of dim a little bit as you wince. It eases the impact of the light.
Thanks.
And before you see what you could only describe as a sea of green stretching out ahead of you for miles. Just the tops of these massive trees.
I was very not prepared.
Almost looking like waves, where there are higher pointed trees and then a row of lower pointed trees and higher pointed trees and lower pointed trees. And there are things gliding around the tops. There are drakes that come swooping down and grasping at things at these upper levels. But it is calm and bright up here. And Castien is, you can see on his various screens now, more than just the one. You can see various bits of information he is processing. So many things. And yet you get the feeling this is still only a fraction of what he is calculating, observing, storing, and archiving.
Do we see altitude? Not that we know what that is necessarily.
You see, he has projected that you have already traveled a little over 7 miles from where you took off.
Oh, just straight upward?
Yes.
Easily.
And you can see
more of this in the future if possible.
You can see out these viewports that there is mountains to the west, snow-capped mountains to the north, and a smaller mountain range to the east. And I think we're going to call it there.
All right.
Okay.
Thank everybody for listening. I want to jump into talking to them with things that don't need to be recorded. Thank you, everybody. No. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hope to have you on the next one. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Blind.